The views and opinions expressed on Lifeguards Off Duty are those of its hosts and guests exclusively. They do not represent any entity, organization, or municipality.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Michael Kachmar.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sean.
And this is Lifeguards Off Duty with Dr. Michael Kachmar, the Jersey Shore #1 lifeguard-themed video podcast.
Watch us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook Live. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever streaming service you prefer.
If you would like to contact us, send an email to drkachmar@icloud.com. Follow us on Instagram at lg.association.
All right, let's get started.
Let's start the show.
Let's do it.
She said they're gonna lock you up for killing me tonight. And then I bit her lip just a little bit harder. Well, I was so sure it wasn't real. But she's afraid of ghosts. Now I'm sleeping in her room.
Yeah. Hello there, everyone. How are you? That stopped suddenly. Hi, this is Dr. Michael Kachmar. This is Lifeguards Off Duty. Today is March 1st, the year of our Lord,
Year of our Lord.
2022. Thank you for tuning in. We have Tyler here today. You want to say hello, Tyler?
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
Good. Tyler's different. You look different, Tyler. You
I
somehow,
got my hair cut, and I shaved the beard.
yeah, you look like a totally different guy.
I needed a change.
You look totally different.
My cousin came over yesterday. He just stopped by with his girlfriend.
Right.
The first thing he said to me, he's like, "You look like you're 19 years old." I'll take the compliment. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. So anyway, well, thank you for everyone for tuning in, and we're really happy. We're getting a lot more people coming on to our show. We're just to remind everybody, we're on YouTube. This is YouTube Live. We're on Rumble Live. We're also on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So we're really out there. So if you want to get a hold of us, you can. Tyler put up for the podcast people, Tyler put up our email address, which is drkachmar@icloud.com. That's ICLOUD.com. You could go to our webpage, which is Jersey Shore Foot and Leg Center. And we are going to start some call-ins coming up soon, but we have a phone number here. This is the kind of phone. This is the phone number you could call us on: 732-237-4949. That's 237-4949, and you could call us in and talk to us live. So
You can also follow us on Instagram at lg.association.
yeah.
I think we're going to change that to lg.offduty at some point.
Well, don't do that.
We'll get there.
Don't do it right yet.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Don't do it right yet. So let me make sure. So anyway, so what we got today, Tyler was at the Polar Bear Plunge in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. That was Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
And so I want to talk about it. There's a lot of here's our whiteboard. So the Polar Bear Plunge is been in Seaside 3-4 years now.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, and it's amazing the amount of people that it draws. And there's this year they were expecting over 5,000 people, and they were expecting to make. Can you just get that Lifeguards Off Duty out of the way for a minute? They're talking about they were expecting to make $1.8 million. This is a one-day event. Now, of course, they do the fundraising, but the United States is the most charitable country in the world. There's nobody who raises that kind of money. This is just one event in one town, one little corner of the United States. I mean, and this happens every day all over the place. The money that is made, we're just, people say this is such a bad country. We're such a great country, and we're very charitable. People give so much money all the time. I think that if you look at these, I forget what it is, how much is given every year to the universities. Billions, not millions, billions. So it's pretty, we should be proud of that. So the Special Olympics, what is the Special Olympics and how it started? Well, the Special Olympics, now the Polar Bear Plunge, I don't know when it started, but the Polar Bear Plunge is designed to function to raise money for the Special Olympics.
It's a fundraiser.
A fundraiser. And the Special Olympics started in around the late 60s, I think 68. And what it is, it's a, can you throw my iPad up, Tyler? So the Special Olympics, right here, for people who want to read this here, I pulled this up. It's an international organization dedicated to empowering individuals with intellectual disabilities to become physically fit, productive, and respected members of society through sports and training. There is also the Paralympics. People might get confused, and that's people with physical disabilities, like, you know, if a soldier lost his legs. But these people have what they term intellectual disability, and there's things like Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, and so there's a lot of brain injury also.
My mom did a lot of work with the Special Olympics.
Yeah. So, but I just and we're going to talk about that. So they have this organization, and they have these events all over the world, actually, and they raise money. But let's why did it happen? What was it? Why was it necessary? And you could clear that. Just go on to the other screen for now. Why did this happen? And so back in the days, especially in this country, I know for sure, when a child was born who had cerebral palsy. Now, cerebral palsy, just so if you don't know, it's when the baby's born, they get hypoxic. It's a rough delivery, and the brain is starved from oxygen. So when the child is born, they have physical disability. They may not be able to walk. They may not be able to eat by themselves. Use the toilet. Can't even walk. Severely and mentally can't speak. There's also people who are Down syndrome. That's a genetic abnormality, or I won't say abnormality, genetic predisposition. And there's other ones. So when these people were born, the doctors and society would say, listen, you can't handle it. Give the baby away to the state. Let the state take care of the baby and the child. And a lot of these parents gave their kids away, never to see them again. And these institutions became really bad. And there was all kinds of controversy. I remember in the 50s and 60s. Now you got to remember, in the 60s, what was going on in the 60s, Tyler? There was a lot of unrest.
Civil rights movement?
Civil rights. And so civil rights were not just for blacks. Civil rights were for a lot of people. And these people who were in these nursing homes, in these homes, or institutions, they were horribly treated. And there was a lot of reporting. I think there was a couple of famous reporters that went into these institutions and really did unbelievable investigational reporting. And so there was an outcry. We got to do something. This is not good for these people. And they developed the Special Olympics in, like I said, 1968, to really bring these people out, to show people that these people are not totally lost or non-functional. And they get them to become productive people in society, and get them to do athletics, and get them to have friends, get them to do things, really take them out of that environment. So it was multifold.
You reminded me of a story my mom once told me, because like I said, she's was for over 30 years a special education teacher in Ewing.
Right.
And from the beginning of like her college journey, she kind of knew that she wanted to get into special ed. And my grandfather, who, he was like an amazing dude, but, he grew up in this time that we're talking about, right? Where it wasn't really understood how to kind of handle these issues, like societally. And he said something to my mom. He goes, I just, I'm proud of you and I support you, but I just don't understand why in so many cases, we're putting so much money into people that are going to contribute the least to society. That was the way he saw it.
That's how a lot of people saw it. But that's how a lot of people. That's why, again.
Let me tell you what, though, and this is a credit to my mom, the work she's done, and my grandfather as a person.
Right.
20 years go by, and he watched my mom do this work and give her life to this type of work. And by the end of it, I mean, he was one of the biggest supporters.
Yeah.
He ended up donating like half his library to stuff like that, to her school. And it was incredible. And to see the work she's done is nuts.
Well, that's why we're talking about it today, because people should get involved in the Special Olympics. Why? Well, it's a great cause. It helps these people who have these disabilities, and the money goes to help them to develop their skills. And while they're developing their skills, they're becoming productive individuals, and they're feeling better about themselves, and they're not being in these institutions. And one thing leads to another, and also the public starts to see this. Can you imagine? You watch these, you go to Special Olympics. You cannot go to I've been there. You cannot go to a Special Olympics and not be moved. And
Have you ever seen the movie The Ringer? It's a Johnny Knoxville movie.
No.
So
no. About Special Olympics?
Yeah, and this is one of my mom's favorite movies, and it's actually it was a bit controversial when it came out, right? So it's a Johnny who Johnny Knoxville is, the guy from Jackass?
You should pull it up when I get off here. Yeah.
So
what's called The Ringer?
It's called The Ringer. So basically, like, he gets into some trouble,
right?
Financially. He's just your kind of average Joe guy, and he decides that in order to make this money back, he's gonna pretend to be disabled so he can get in the Special Olympics and then bet on himself to win it, right? Oh. And like a lot of people when it first came out were saying like it's not right to portray people with disabilities in this way. But my mom, someone who's been around it, watched the movie, and it's so funny watching her talk about it, because she'll be like, that is exactly how the Special Olympics are, and she loves it so much.
I think that in New Jersey it's run by the state troopers, the state police. Not 100% sure, but so that's it. It's a huge thing. So it took these people who were marginalized, who were thrown away, and it brought them out, and it helped the public. It helped them. So let me go to my iPad here. Yeah, go. So I'm going to give you here's what is the motto of the Special Olympics? It's pretty interesting. Let me win. I have to win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
That should be everyone's motto for life.
Yeah. Isn't that something? And so you could pull out of here now. So what I want to give you a story about my personal story. So I never told you this, so you don't know. My sister had severe cerebral palsy. She passed away when she was about 30. So I grew up with it. So cerebral palsy, for people who don't know, it could be mild, it could be severe. My sister never spoke, had to be fed, wore a diaper until she died. I mean, she was, pretty bad off. My mom took care of her. They never put her into an institution. And I saw my mom cry multiple times because she was so upset. And we know that a lot of times it's a rough birth. That's why you have people with cesareans, they try to get the baby out. And so I know firsthand what it is. I mean, I grew up with somebody who has disability. It's tough. So if you could do anything for those people to put them in a different environment, it doesn't just help the families. I mean, it doesn't help the person, but it helps the families.
Oh my God!
Because think about, you have this child who everybody's telling you, well, what are they going to do? They're useless, and then they get into the Special Olympics, and all of a sudden, like the one girl I was doing a profile here, she has Down syndrome, and she's an unbelievable skater. And I know personally, I've seen Down syndrome people with Down syndrome who are unbelievable swimmers. Swimmers.
I follow a dude. He must be in his 20s on Instagram. He has Down syndrome, and he's a triathlete.
Yeah.
And he does like the Ironman competitions.
Yeah. So there was I was dating a girl when I was in medical school. I'm trying to think what years I was. Maybe I was doing my residency. And so she was really nice, and she had this this person that she would go visit. She knew the family, right? And he was, I don't know what his disability was. Maybe it was cerebral palsy. Maybe it was something else. But we would go. He was living in this little apartment, so it was kind of like a assisted living. But basically, the parents got rid of him. So it wasn't in an institution. They were loaded. And to me, I remember, what struck me, number one, is I don't think he was that bad where he had to be living in assisted living. He could have easily lived at home with his parents, but they didn't want him. They didn't want the...
Some people consider it a burden.
And so we would go there, and she used to tell me, parents never go there, nobody sees them. She's kind of like the only one. I don't know how she knew the family. And I remember that. It was really sad. So I can only imagine when they have a severe or more involved disability, where people just throw them to the side. So I think this is really good. I don't know how much the Special Olympics does to go after these people and like to encourage the families to try to put them in. They probably have to encourage the families too, to a certain degree, because they might be scared to put their child out there. But I think this is really good. I think that so the Special Olympics has the Polar Bear Plunge, and the Polar Bear Plunge was in Seaside Heights. Now I've watched it a few times. I wasn't there this weekend, but I was there about 3 years ago. Well, before Corona, that's when I was there. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of people enjoy a couple cocktails.
Yeah.
People dress up in all kinds of outfits and costumes, and you have teams that put together money. I heard that one guy, one group got raised $35,000.
There was some impressive fundraising going on.
Right, and
sure.
And even though they're a bunch of drunks, these people are doctors, lawyers, engineers, electricians, plumbers. I mean, all walks of life, every ethnicity. I mean, ethnicity. Excuse me, I'm dyslexic. So, and it's a beautiful thing to see. When I was there, it was amazing. I felt like it was just fantastic event. So we have some video, right? So
yeah, one gentleman I spoke with actually, he was telling me about a friend of his who raised $1,000 that he couldn't even come because he had gotten sick a couple of days before.
Wow.
Yeah, but I want to point out one thing. Before we get into these videos about these families of
right,
these differently abled kids and adults and people of all ages. I spent a lot of time volunteering in local organizations similar to Special Olympics in Jackson growing up through my mom. She was at one point the president of the Commission of the Handicapped in Jackson. Which put her in charge of running what in Jackson we called the Challenger programs. So we had basketball, soccer, softball, gymnastics, a bunch of stuff like that. And me and my friends would volunteer on Saturday mornings helping coach. We were called buddies. Mainly it was soccer that I was doing.
Right.
But one thing I noted, I did this for about 5 years, and eventually, I started getting ready to go play college soccer. I just didn't have enough time on the weekends. But one thing I notice about these families is these parents. Now I have a skewed sample size of because I'm only seeing parents that are willing to bring their kids to these programs.
Right.
But some of these parents are some of the nicest and most incredible people I've ever met in my life. The way that they're faced with such a hard situation. God gives you this child that no matter how you look at it, it's going to be a challenge.
Oh,
it can be, but they take it, and I'm getting a little emotional like talking about this because they take it and they turn it into the most beautiful challenge. I mean, to see someone who's been, put in that situation, take it and just not only deal with it, but be glowing while they do it.
Oh yeah.
Like some of these parents are when they watch their kids, score a goal. That's what makes it rewarding.
Well, I think it's inspirational for everybody. Let's do this real quick here. Two things. I'm going to give you a little video first of all. This is an intro. Just want to show a little This was in Berlin. Special Olympics.
Back on the iPad?
Yeah, so go back on the iPad and let's get some volume on
this. This?
Yeah, unmute that. I want to listen to this. I'm just going to give a little brief. It's quick, but then one thing we want to talk about too before we do this is that the water. What was the temperature of the water? It had to be like 40 degrees.
Yeah, it was probably actually warmer than the air because the air was pretty cold.
it was like 20-something degrees out.
Sean jumped in. I did not.
So let's look at this promo here. I just want to show this is a pretty neat. You could bitch and moan, you wake up, your knee hurts or whatever. You say, I can't do anything, And remember, these people not only are physically, but mentally challenged.
I mean, there's so much like power
Thank you so
in
much for setting an example to the whole world.
allowing these athletes to
Thank
feel
you
that
so
like
much.
glory.
Great honor
You
to
know,
have
Thank you
you
for
to feel
coming
what
this
it what it
very
is
long
to like
way.
represent
Thank you
Zimbabwe.
so much.
yourself and your family in this way.
Well, I want to tell
freue mich
people
auf ein
if they want to get
großes,
involved, get
buntes
involved in
Fest,
stuff like this
in 3
because
Jahren in
you,
Deutschland.
what
Wir
you get out of it
versprechen
is a
große
million
Gastfreundschaft.
times more than what you put into it. You know, and if you want to donate.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a huge honor and very moving to be here in the presidency of this enormously influential country that has such a strong role in my own family's past. It's a sense of history and a sense of the future all come together. Great possibility.
pretty wild, huh?
Yeah.
That's so much.
They have the keys to the future of Germany and the future, I dare say, of the whole
You know,
planet.
you talk about that's.
Compassion,
They talk about
openness,
the
trust,
Olympics
and
in Germany,
inclusion.
you
These
know,
are the
and
qualities
when they had.
we
But the
need
point
in
is,
the
though, I just
future
wanted to
there
show you.
that
It's nothing to do necessarily Germany, but just wanted to see the.
Gonna start doing the,
Yeah. You know,
I just, you know, it
You-
goes to show you, like,
that human beings are not that bad. You know, you know, we could be so bad and we could be so good.
yeah,
We could be so great, and you know, this is why
Jung und
God.
alt machen einfach zusammen Sport.
You know, maybe this is why God. These people are on this earth. You know, make us.
Yeah.
It forces us to a certain degree to reach out to these people and to do something.
yeah, and
You
you
know,
know,
get our heads out of our ass.
I think, you know, another reason, because like I said at the beginning when we started playing that video, it gives these athletes an opportunity to like represent themselves and their families
Yeah.
in a way that they haven't been able to
Yeah.
before. And
Yeah.
also, it's, you know, the same reason that we're doing this, and that we love lifeguarding so much, it's because you get to be part of a team. And that is one of the most important things, is to
Well-
feel like you're part of something.
But also, Tyler, we save people's lives, and that's a great thing. We help people. I mean, you know, I remember I was on, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years ago, got called on to the boardwalk. Troy and I went down, which is the other officer, and there was this woman. She was passed out. She and she was a black woman. She, you know, and she had puke on her face. And anyway, we put her on the ground, and I opened her airway, and she started breathing. And we poured water on her, and I was rubbing her head, you know, and until she had heat exhaustion, and she started to speak a little bit. And I don't know what language, I didn't understand what she was saying. And she might have been from, you know, Africa. It sounded like that kind of, what do you call it? Accent. And so, you know, I'm an old white guy, you know, gray hair, you know, and so I get up and I'm walking, and she's fine. The police come, paramedics, and they take her to the hospital, and she's awake and everything. And the guy comes up to me, he goes, he said, that scene just blew my mind. And I'm like, well, that's my job. You know, he goes, no. An old white guy caressing, pouring water on this black woman. He goes, I wish more people could see that. And, you know, I really believe that most people are like that. 99% of the population of people, we want to do good. I didn't look at her as anything different than anybody else. I was touching, I was right in her face. I mean, I would have done mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and done whatever I had to do. My point being is that this Special Olympic and the Polar Bear Plunge brings out the best.
Yeah.
The best, and we just had a show. You didn't hear it, but Jeremy and I were on Scrubbing Up, and we talked about in this country, in this world, you got to stop the rhetoric. We got to, you know, go the other way. But anyway, so let's. I don't want to get off.
You make a good point there, and all the controversy like we hear about, I feel like that comes from like a very select few sources, and like you said, the majority of people are on the same page where we just want to like spread love, you know, and you know, you look at that, like you look at what happened on the beach in Seaside Heights this weekend at the Polar Bear Plunge, and you see the drone shots, and you know, that number 5,500 seems small because that's how many people were there gathered around one cause. And yeah, it's like a drinking event, and you know, but it's really great. You know, I can't even think they had like a rally for President Trump, right, in the last election cycle that went through Seaside Heights. That didn't have as many people as were at this Polar Bear Plunge.
No.
Because
there's like charity. I told you, charity is a big thing. I've been to charities, the Juvenile Diabetic Association. I tell you, listen to this one. I used to go there every year to them. They would have it at Giant Stadium. They would put a big tent there, and they would have prizes. You know, what do they call it? Where you go, you put money in the pot, you know, and you have a prize you can win. They were pretty heavy duty, and then they would have people who would donate money. They would start. I'm not telling you, like $500,000. People would donate $100,000. They raise their thing up. I'm sitting there going, whoa! And then like maybe 20 people, $20,000. $5,000. It's unbelievable the charity that we have. I don't think anywhere in the world do people give as much as we do, and that's and that has a lot to do with the Christian Jewish. I know I said beat up the word Christian Jewish faith that we give.
You think?
Yeah. So
you think it's a religious thing?
No, it's not. It's not. When you say religious, what it is, it's the
values.
It's the values that associate. I was taught to give. When I go to church, we give. We're supposed to give 10%. You give to the church. You give to the poor.
Giving the church has its own.
Yeah, but forget about the church. It doesn't have to be not the church, but it could be like when I say the church, I mean there's.
I know what you're saying.
It doesn't have to be the Catholic Church, but you give. You don't have to give.
No, you're taught to help people.
But the same thing with the Jewish faith. I mean, and I don't know about any other faiths. I just know that the West, especially the United States, gives huge amounts of money, and it's a good thing. So, do you have some clips about? Can we watch?
Yeah, Sean and I went out and we had some fun, and we talked to some of the plungers and a couple of the dudes in charge of keeping everyone safe. So it's we can pause throughout and talk throughout this. But,
let's check it out. I think when we talk, our mouth it mutes a little bit.
I can unmute us. So
keep us going. We're good.
All right, so let's roll.
Are these interviews?
Yeah, these are actually this one right here that we're gonna look at right now is with Nico.
I'm here with Nico DeVoe at the 2022 Polar Bear Plunge. Nico?
What's up, guys?
He's one of our lifeguards.
Nico, what are you expecting for today?
I'm expecting a lot of people. I mean, it's the first time they've had it in about 2 years. It's a nice day. Water's calm. People have been drinking since 7 in the morning, so you never know what's gonna happen.
That is gonna be a great place to cut someone
Is that Winkle, the guy from
So where'd you learn Tai Chi? What are you, a black belt?
No, it's no belts. It's just like a social thing.
Okay.
So for those,
what was that movie?
For those of you listening, we just did a bit of a cut to me doing Tai Chi on the beach with a gentleman that was there plunging. What was your question?
No, I'm trying to think who he looks like. He looks like that famous actor. I can't think of the name of it.
De Niro?
No.
Daniel
Day-Lewis?
Fonzie?
All right,
that's Seaside Heights.
So people on our podcast, you guys got to go to YouTube video and check this out.
I believe this is my second or third time.
So what we're seeing here is
third or
Nico,
fourth.
who's one of the
Yeah, something like that.
he's one of the firemen.
It's always a good time, though. I like the plunge.
Beautiful day.
A lot of interesting characters coming around.
A lot of interesting characters. We're looking forward to going to meet them.
It's cold though.
Yeah, we're gonna go
what
meet
a
some of
beautiful
them right
day.
now.
Oh, it won't be hard to find.
So this has been Lifeguards Off Duty on assignment. Back to you, Dr. Kachmar.
There you go.
Yeah, first year back since COVID.
Excited?
So this is the captain of the water rescue team.
So we're very excited to get back out here. Everybody again. I got my Corona shirt on for Yeah, 100%. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, we're looking forward to it again. It's great to have everybody back. Good to have the team back together and everybody coordinating together for a great cause.
Awesome.
We got a whole bunch of great guys down here today, so I'm definitely not worried. Awesome. And it's going to be a great cause. We always look forward to this, especially this time of year.
All right.
Like I said, there's usually a group of us that we've done it 10 years.
10 years.
This guy was a blast. So now we have our friend Thomas. He's been on the show speaking with a gentleman in a full Captain America uniform.
10 years.
Wow.
We started in 2012.
Yeah.
Last year was the first year we didn't do it physically because of all the stupidity
Yeah.
of the world. But here we are.
Totally.
Somewhere. God bless President Zelensky. What, you want to talk about a hero? You want to talk about a hero? I'm ready to jump on a plane and go get him right now. Yeah. Standing in the streets with his people. Ready to go. God
fired
bless
up.
you, President Zelensky. God bless the people of Ukraine. Captain
1,000.
America stands with the people of the Ukraine and stands with President Zelensky. God damn it.
Thank you so much.
God damn it.
You're a legend. You are a legend.
Oh, look at these guys.
This was funny. All right, so this one needs a little explaining. This kid. All right, well, we'll watch it, but yeah, never mind.
And these people go in the water dressed like this.
You don't know one time. Watch.
And it's like, what is it, 20-something degrees out? And he's got a...
What's your girlfriend's name? On three. 1, 2, 3, Marissa. Whoa.
So you know my girlfriend.
Ask him how he knows Marissa now. That's sketchy.
How do you know Marissa?
She used to work at a camp with us.
Marissa who? Wait, Marissa from...
And these people are, you know...
Oh yeah,
But
these
it's
guys
like,
were
it's
buzzed up.
20 degrees out. Aren't they cold? Like, they don't even look, it looks like it's a summer day.
These guys were awesome. They were a fun time, actually. Nick Tomasello
Tell us about the
met
importance
them
of wearing
down
proper
on the
headgear.
ramp and was like giving them stickers. So they already knew us when we went to go talk to
Honestly,
them.
it just brings more photo opportunity.
So these guys have some weird, like,
people playing
stretchy orange fuzzy things over their heads.
All right, thank you.
Sean didn't know what to say to him. That's
He was
great.
so-
Sean's just like, whatever.
He got caught off guard a couple of times.
Let's tell the audience here, because I know our podcast people. So these are videos. You got to go and look at them. They're great. This is on the beach in Seaside Heights,
Yeah.
New Jersey. And I can tell you, we laugh. It's one of, you got to go there. If you're listening to this, wherever you are in the world, in the country, you come to the United States, you come to New York City, you got to come to Seaside Heights.
Anytime, any day, you're gonna see something interesting going down.
It's a great place to be. So you'll see something all the time. So guys,
So this lady right here was actually really, really great. She was formerly a lifeguard in Seaside Park.
oh really?
Yeah, and she was super excited when she found out what we were doing.
But I want to go again and just say it was in the 20s.
Yeah, it was cold.
And these people are they got nothing. I mean, they're walking around.
We should be doing a better job of
go to me.
explaining what these people are wearing, right?
Yeah.
So this is a gentleman and two ladies. They are wearing bathing suits with tutus. The gentleman, all he has is a pair of trunks on with his tutu over it.
And it's it's below 30 degrees.
Yeah.
It's like it was 27, 20. It was, and the wind was blowing too. It wasn't warm. Go ahead, I want to see this one.
We're freezing for a reason for the Special Olympics.
Freezing for a
Here
reason.
to have a good time and raise some money.
How much money did y'all raise?
Not a lot, but it doesn't matter.
Hey, anything counts, right?
We're here.
All right, so you have to explain the uniforms to me.
He and I actually went to Party Fair last night, found whatever we could find, and literally.
So you guys should have showed the tutus.
I know.
I mean, whoever was doing the camera, who's doing the camera work?
We had a theme we were
this
going
is
to do Three's
either
Company,
Thomas or
but
Sean.
that didn't work out
Knuckleheads.
because they got sick. So
You see the
threw
tutus a
something
little bit
together
down
last
there.
minute.
Yeah.
It was
Hey,
very unprepared.
It's
but
awesome. You guys
I've
caught
been-
our eye from across the beach, so.
I've been doing this 5 years and stuff.
Wow.
Like I said, a friend of mine that raised almost $1,000 that didn't show up tonight. He got sick.
Wow.
But I've been doing this 5 years and I love it every time we do it. So it's
Great,
cool.
awesome. I got one more question for you all. Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Pork roll.
So people ask me today. Somebody asked me, what is it?
all day.
What do I
I've been doing it 20 years
define as a
now.
patriot? These are patriots. Look at this guy. you got to go. People got to go on and look at this.
This next guy we have Sean interviewing. He's got plungers fashioned into what looks like a coconut bra. And he's wearing it as a bra.
What's
obviously.
on his head?
I don't know what's on his head. He has it's a plunger coming out of his head like this, and I guess up top there are like some suds, and then he's got these funny duck-looking feet on.
All right, we got to look at
Got
this.
into it with the law enforcement buddy line. Got me involved, and we've been doing it ever since.
Did you do the online plunge?
This year I did, yes.
All right. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Have you been here since 7 a.m., 9 a.m.?
No, I got here about 10. I got about 10. Not too not that early.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of these guys are cops too, state troopers.
Oh yeah. Good times, good times, good events.
Yeah.
So tell us about the importance of wearing proper footwear for events like this.
Oh wow.
Well, you gotta have the proper footwear. You gotta keep your feet nice and warm.
Polar bear looking feet
if
on.
you get cold, you're done for the day, man. That's just it.
Are you going in full costume?
Full gear.
I love that.
I love this because people just let their freak flag fly.
Full gear, everything.
I like the rope embroidered.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Did you win that one year, or
no? It was one of the incentives one.
Oh yeah, so that's a great one. You have any? Is that it?
Yeah, we had fun. I'm working on like a little news package video to put together with that, kind of like what we did with our trip to Vermont, but
people
a bit more polished and serious than that video.
You know, we have a lot of people watch our podcast, so I feel bad sometimes when we do this because we show these videos, but I love looking at them, and I wish that Spotify. We're on Spotify, and I'm hoping that Spotify is gonna let us download video because
Spotify put us up on video,
right,
or we're gonna remove ourselves from Spotify, just like Neil Young did.
I don't think they're gonna care about us.
We're out. We're done. Give us our video.
But we're hoping that they're gonna let us on eventually with our videos, and so people who could see that, they'd be very happy. So the Polar Bear Plunge, I don't know I tried to look at the numbers and see how many people were there and how much money was raised, but I guarantee it's over $1 million. And they have these things all around the world. So wherever you're listening, wherever you are, go and join one of these, get involved, donate. But I think it's really good to also go watch the athletes when they have them.
Yeah.
You'd be so inspired. I watched it, and I got to tell you, you don't cry. If you don't cry, if you don't feel, it's the most amazing thing. You walk away from there. And you should talk to the athletes too. They're amazing people, and the families, they just glow. I think it's one of the best things that we've ever done in this country.
Truly inspiring.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's really good. So
I can't speak highly enough of the work that everybody involved with all of these types of programs puts in. You know, because it is incredibly meaningful. It makes such an impact on these people's lives and their families, and
no, it's good. It's all good stuff because it's funny. It happened. The Special Olympics developed in the '60s when the civil rights movement was going on, and we probably don't think sometimes that these people their civil rights were infringed upon, and they were put away in institutions, and with Nazi Germany, because I studied this too. They had a Department of Euthanasia, and it was common in those days in the United States, but also in Germany and West, to get rid of these people, either put them in an institution or downright just kill them. You know,
that was one of the things they were doing, the Nazis. It wasn't just Jewish people they were trying to get rid of.
No. They had the euthanasia for a long time, and they got rid of the young who are no good, who are deformed, get rid of the old, and they had this whole thing, eugenics, and trying to get the Aryan race or the race of people that were perfect, which didn't work out. You can't do that with human beings. They wind up, actually, if you try to inbreed, you actually make worse.
You make worse people, right? That's why.
Well, did you ever see
That's why pugs are so ugly.
Yeah, but I mean, I know people that the mother and father are like supermodels, and they have a kid that's you're like, oh my God, what happened there? So it happens. But my point is that we that's what we do in this country. If they say what's great about the United States. Special Olympics started in the United States, didn't start anywhere else. A lot of things in this country start here because we're so great. Why are we so great? Because we have freedom. We're not smarter than anybody else. We have freedom. And I truly, truly believe that freedom, the ability to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from fear, freedom from want, it gives you the ability to rise and do things like this. So it's really amazing. So just go back with your mom. So she was special ed?
Yeah.
So, and you volunteered for where? With the soccer?
So it was called Challenger Sports. It was a program sponsored by the Commission of the Handicapped.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. I'll tell you, I'll give you my funny story about the beach patrol and people who were intellectually challenged. So I used to sit on Grant Avenue with a lifeguard. His name was Joe Gamoka. And Grant Avenue back in those days, this is probably in the 70s, going into early 80s, had the distinction of having a lot of day trippers, because right behind us down the street, there was huge parking lots, and they would bus people in. They would have huge bus loads of people, but you would have a lot of people. The beach was one of the hottest beaches. That's where a lot of people went. It was easy access, so it was Grant Avenue. So one day I'm there, and I see this group of special ed group of people. And there was a couple counselors with them. And of course, now I'm probably 18, 19 years old, maybe 20. And the counselor was a young girl, and, you know, pretty good looking too. So, but I had them all on my beach, and they were swimming in the water, and I was letting them go. I didn't, you know, she came up to me, she goes, I'm really very appreciative that you're not giving us a hard time, because a lot of places we go, because everybody's handicapped, the lifeguards are so crazy. And actually, what happened was one of the Down syndrome girls in this group saved one of the other people. They were getting in a little trouble. And she brought him in. I made her an honorary lifeguard and everything, you know, and the whole thing. And, you know, you understand, I mean, it's not bullshit. I know it from my family. So, you know, I have a tendency to look at that from a different perspective, because I had it in and I know what it is, you know. So those people don't scare me, and I'm drawn to them, and I want to help them. So she's like, so she goes to me, she goes, so where do you, so the girl comes up, and I'm talking to her, and, you know, I figured, listen, try to get a date with her, you know, I'm in, I'm, you know, I wasn't nice to those people because of her, but there was an added, right? So I said to her, I go, listen, she goes, where do you go at night? I go, I go to the Bamboo Bar. How about I meet you at the Bamboo Bar tonight? You know, and we have a couple drinks, you know, because drinking age was 18, so that's probably 20. So and she's like, oh yeah, I would love to meet you up with you, and it's gonna be great, you know. So she walks away, and I'm like, oh man, you know, I mean, smoking hot girl, nice, you know, works as a counselor. I mean, just, you know, all around nice. So I go. You know, home, I get all showered up, shaved, and everything. So we'll get to the Bamboo, probably like 9, 10 o'clock, whatever time it was. And I'm looking around for her, and she comes up to me, and she's like, "Hey, Mike, how you doing?" And right behind her was like at least 7 or 8 of her special ed people, and they're like, "Hey, Mike."
She said we would love to meet you. I picked up on that.
You picked up on that. Yeah, that was the end of that. So we had a good time though. We were all dancing and laughing and everything.
So in that movie, The Ringer, I was telling you about, there's a scene, and this is the scene that my mother points out.
Right.
Type in The Ringer, like formal dance scene or something.
Okay,
so this is a scene my mother points to all the time when she talks about how accurate that film is.
Right.
In its portrayal.
Maybe I'll see that here.
And it is just so funny. And I used to, like, through my time volunteering with the Challenger program and the Commission of the Handicapped, my family and I would get invited to, like, Christmas parties and Easter parties and Valentine's Day parties thrown by the commission. And they would always have a live band playing, and just when the music starts and some of the personalities that come out when the music starts playing, it is so funny and so great. There was this guy Mike, and he had the funniest dance move. He would just throw his fingers over his head and just like shake his hips like this, like go back and forth. And my mom always laughed at him.
I'm trying to look for the thing here. Yeah, she used to laugh at him. I'm not so sure which dance scene it is. Let me see. Training. We'll pull one up here. You keep going.
The movie's called The Ringer.
Yeah, no, I have it all right. The Ringer. I have it here. The kids.
Let me.
So here, let me. Here's a dance scene. You look it up. I'll find. No, you don't pull mine down. There you go.
You know what's also great about this movie?
Is this the scene?
All of the actors they hired are actually disabled.
Really?
Yeah. Other than Johnny Knoxville, of course. This is not the scene I was talking about. But
that's the best I could get.
they're dancing in the shower. No, it's like a formal dance they do at the events, at the Special Olympic events.
Yeah, so I don't have it. So, but people could look at that movie. I was trying to find it for you. I couldn't find it. So, so it's good. I'm glad that you went there and you saw these people, and we had DeVoe, who was one of our lifeguards, and we don't lifeguard that thing, by the way. We don't. No. It's just the police and the fire department. Nobody. I've never heard of anybody get in trouble because people just dive in and they dive out.
Yeah, and what they
it's
do.
It's so cold.
What they do is, they'll all these water rescue guys. So they had Seaside Heights, Seaside Park, Berkeley Township, and I think another water rescue, search and rescue organization were there, and they just had these super heavy wetsuits on, and they went and they formed a line about, I don't know, 10 yards, right. 10 yards out on the sandbar. And,
oh, really?
You run up, give them a high five, run back. They're not letting people go.
No.
Try to body surf.
So who was in the water? That was the police were in the water? I mean, the firemen were in the water?
The fire department, ocean rescue teams from Seaside Heights and Seaside Park, and Berkeley Townships as well. I think there might have been another one.
Well, we want to give a shout out to them.
Yeah,
to thank
they
them.
They were ready to go. We actually got another really cool interview with an English gentleman who is, I believe, the captain of Berkeley Township's underwater search and rescue team. And all we got was the audio. Sean forgot to turn the camera on.
Good old Sean. Yeah, I wanted to see. I thought you had some footage of people going in the water. That would have been good.
I'm saving that for the YouTube video I'm going to make.
So I want to show you here. This is the men's 50-meter
back to the
backstroke. Yeah, let me just let me find it for you here. Hang on. Don't go here. Well, I'm going to go ahead here a little bit.
So this is the Paralympics, not the Special Olympics?
I don't know. This is
Paralympics.
So I just want to see this though. This it's pretty neat though, but I think that there's all similarities between the whole thing. It's just amazing. You just got to check this out here. Let me get this here.
This is the backstroke, right?
Yeah. And this is real serious. I mean,
I think lane 6. I think that dude's got no arms.
Yeah. This is really
Reyes from Mexico.
Yeah. See, he's got to hold on. He can't hold on. He's got a rope to hold on. He's holding on with his mouth. I tell you what, I bet you, I'm not kidding around, Sean. I mean, Tyler, if you swam against these people, they'd probably kick your butt.
They might dust me.
I'm not kidding around.
I don't pretend to be the best swimmer.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying how good they are. I'm not criticizing how bad you are. I'm not criticizing how bad you are. But look at these people, and I'm trying to think what a good time would be in a 50-meter. I mean, I could do in a 25-yard pool. Right, I'll do a 50-yard in a minute. I'll have maybe 10 seconds rest. So I do it 35, 40 seconds. That's what I do it in. That's me. All right, and what are they doing it in? Now this is meters.
That was 43.12 was first place.
Meters. So I mean, and these people, that's pretty damn fast.
There's
a lot of people would not be able to even keep up with them.
There's a young man. I don't know if he's from Toms River, but he came out of the Toms River YMCA that won bronze in Brazil. I think.
Yes, his picture's up there.
Robert Griswold. I think it was.
His picture's up there. Yeah.
I don't know what stroke it was. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, he won a bronze medal.
Yeah, they have his picture up there. I swim at the Y, and I'm just so enamored with that. And I think the Polar Bear Plunge is. Raises so much money for such a good cause, and can't say enough to people to go look at their local chapter and get involved. And I think that it's a good thing to do. So what else do we have to talk about as far as lifeguarding? What's coming up? We're trying to get some guests in here soon.
Yeah. What is it? March already?
Yeah.
By the end of this month, we're going to be having Gregory Andrus in here. He's the author of.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's Portraits of the Jersey Shore, I believe. But he's writing a book called Lifeguarding on the Jersey Shore. I might have messed those names up slightly, but I think I got the gist right. I've had the chance to talk to him on the phone a couple of times. He is such a great guy. I'm really excited to bring him in here. He's doing something really, really interesting with this book. What he's going to do is he has half of the book is just traditional text and photos.
Right.
And then the other half, he's going to have a photo of a lifeguard and a QR code you can scan.
That's
that
great.
You'll be able to listen to the interview with the lifeguard. So we're going to bring him in. We're just waiting for him to get a hard copy of the manuscript that he can come share with us.
Well, I got a good treat for you guys. I actually had as a patient of mine, one of the individuals who's dealing with and putting together the museum in Seaside Heights, where they have the old carousel, and they made a building for the carousel, which is the horses, the carousel, and in there is going to be a museum, and part of that museum is dedicated to the lifeguard, the history of the Seaside Heights lifeguard. And I have in my
going to be immortalized, Kachmar.
I don't know about me, but I have in my possession, and I'm going to give it to him, but we're going to bring it on the next show, is I have logbooks from the 50s and 60s. And so a logbook was a written description of the day, the weather, the way the wind's blowing, the tides, how many rescues there were, who made the rescues, how many medical emergencies there were. It's pretty interesting. It's a snapshot into the past.
Yeah.
And they're all handwritten, and
that stuff's super exciting.
Well, what happened is we had logs going back for years and years. And when Sandy hit, it destroyed our building. We lost a lot of it because not only did we have stuff in the headquarters, but we had between the headquarters, there was it used to be old bathrooms, and they converted into storage. It was right on the beach, and that thing got hammered. And I came back, probably I was there within a month, and they let us go on the lifeguards because we went in there and we had to do some cleanup. And I was able to salvage, just so I could salvage. We had all those things. Whoever knew, I never thought in a million years that a storm would hit that bad, and especially in October. I would have taken the stuff out. We were around.
Yeah, we lost a lot of cool memorabilia. Huh?
Yeah, we lost boats, we lost every lifeguard stand. Every lifeguard. We had the lifeguard stands down about 4 blocks from the beach, and every one of them was destroyed, gone. One of
my life goals is to get my hands on one of those boats and refurbish it.
In fact, let's do this. I'm gonna pull this out. Just you keep doing it. I'm gonna show you. I just thought about this. I want to show you some really good pictures when I came back from the boardwalk of the Sandy. So
Sandy.
Yeah, just real quick here. You just hold on for a minute. Let me pull these up. Yeah, and people should. I think I could find them. Let me find them here. What that was 2017, right?
Sandy?
No. What year was that?
2012.
2012. Sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking of Irma.
Irma didn't hit us like Sandy did.
Irma was a hurricane that hit the Caribbean really bad. Can you just give me my phone real quick?
You got him?
Yeah, just pull my. Let me see. You have to get my phone up.
So, yeah, hold on. We'll go back here.
See if you get it.
Is that? I think.
No, it's not.
Is that
that's
me?
Yours. Hang on. Let me get mine. This will be it. Let me plug it in again. Hang on.
It popped. Maybe you can send them to me.
No. You should take over the phone. Just keep futzing around. So. Yeah. It's we're doing technical difficulty here. Technical difficulty. Why don't you unplug? You should all work.
The beauty of a live show, people.
Well, you have technical difficulty. Yeah. I don't know why it's not doing it. Let's see.
It's still stuck on your camera.
Get rid of mine.
You know what you should do next time is just airdrop them to the iPad.
We'll get them. So I have, when it's interesting. I'll pull them up in a minute. I'm just shutting my phone off. I want to show you these pictures so we could have them on our thing here. It's amazing how much damage there was to the boardwalk. In fact, up over here, if people look at our up there where our can is, to the left of our can, we actually have a piece of metal up there, and that's from the boardwalk. That was part of the boardwalk, and it's the roller coaster that crashed down. Let me just put my phone back on while you're talking. And it destroyed so much. But we lost our lifeguard stands. We lost our
both headquarters.
But next show. But the point of conversation is the next show when we come in. What I want to do is, let me see, unlock to use accessories. Here we go. This is what it'll come up now.
Let's see.
There you go.
iPhone 12 Pro. There we are.
Yeah. So let me get some photos here. So I'm going to get you Sandy. Just give me a minute to
couple foot X-rays in there.
Yeah, if you want to. So.
But yeah, I like I was saying before. What's up with those boats?
Which we lost a lot of boats.
Yeah, but there's like
boats.
4 of them that are just sitting in a lot.
Well, they're damaged, and it's hard to get rid of them. You know,
I can't just buy it.
I don't know.
I want to buy one of those and fix it up.
Fix it up.
Yeah, paint it with the Lifeguards off-duty colors.
You can do that.
That'd be pretty sweet, right? Keep it at the bay there.
Yeah. So let me show you here.
You find it?
Yeah. So let me go here. These are some pictures. So
oh my God! Look at the boardwalk.
So now look at the boardwalk. Now
looks like a wave is rippling through it.
The boardwalk was underwater. And when you go to, you look at it and you say, well, what's wrong with this picture? That is basically what Sandy did. That's the water came all the way up there, and the waves made the boardwalk all
just buckled the entire.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
If you walk, I walked on that. It's like walking in one of those crazy houses,
like a fun house.
Fun house. You can't.
House of mirrors.
So let me show you another one here. So here's another view.
Holy shit!
But what do you notice though? Every garbage can is still standing up.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Right? Look at the boardwalk. That's why they had to get rid of the whole boardwalk. Okay, let me show you. So here's another picture looking down. That's our headquarters.
South end, right?
Yeah, look at that. All the way down. They had to rip that. You couldn't use that boardwalk. There's no way. Can you imagine? No. Can you imagine leaving the boardwalk like that when there was thousands of people walking on a boardwalk?
What did they do? Did they just take like a backhoe to rip that up? How'd they rip that up?
Look at this. This is all pictures, huh? So
we were finding pilings in the wash for like 2 years.
Look at this. Look at this down. It's Lucky Leo's. Well, I'll show you what they did. Hang on a second. So this is where that's the end of the pier. It's gone. That pier went out. See where that boat is? It went out that far.
Mm-hmm.
You could see. I don't know if you could appreciate the roller.
That pier went out 200 yards at least, right?
Yeah, that's all shot.
At least the length of a rope swim.
Let me see here.
That's a crummy picture.
Yeah, well, these are just this is a good picture here, but this is after. This is like a month afterwards, and a
whole month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's
what is this from headquarters? This one?
This is headquarters.
This one's taken from our North End headquarters overlooking.
Look at this. Look at that.
Ah, they used to have a dunk in there. Oh no, okay. Is this South End now?
Yeah, South End.
Now
I'm gonna show you.
That used to be a Dunkin'. That's like a different coffee shop every year. That place.
See, but the boardwalk, the picture of the boardwalk was really neat. But let me show you. Let me show you one other thing here. So, hang on. That's the world. But I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Just go back to here. Here it is, right here. So this is they ripped up the whole. This is North End. It's all they just ripped the whole boardwalk up. This is before.
Click cancel.
Cancel where? Oh, cancel.
Yeah, you're in. Yeah, there you go. You're in like photo select mode.
So here's the trucks. They're just digging up the boardwalk. They ripped it all. Yeah, you like these pictures, huh? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So this is the boardwalk. I don't know what pictures of this. This is still some old, when they're banged up. So the sand went in this place, but I love that picture right here. I think this is the best picture right there.
Yeah.
Imagine, I think there's been some nights when I walked back from the bamboo bar
that it felt like that.
Yeah, it looked like that in my younger days.
You know what I miss? I miss being able to see the ocean from the boardwalk.
Yeah,
I support the dunes.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'll give you nothing. We're looking at remembering these are San Diego lifeguard stands.
Oh,
so and for our podcast, you can't see. I wish
I've never been out west.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. Let me put this out. I just thought that would be some neat stuff to see about how it all worked out. But I have the archives. I want to talk about some stuff. Listen, can we just, because how much time we have? We've been, so it's almost an hour. Can you just briefly talk about this? Because it was Black History Month, or is it still Black? We just passed.
That's over.
Why don't you just talk about that story from memory? Can you do you have it in your phone? You kind of remember
about Richard Etheridge?
Yeah. Can you just let me? We want to talk about to bring this out. We were going to talk about it. We had it on the whiteboard. It was for Black History Month.
I think we should hold off on that till we can get one of them in studio.
We will. Just throw it out. It means people want to hear it now. Just give it a little brief. So it's coming up. This is a story that we're going to try to get one of the.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Just give a general idea what the story is. I know you're not prepared, but that's the good thing about live. None of us are prepared. We're going to have this individual or one of the individuals who is a family member of this.
Well, I guess
tell a story.
I'll just break that down. So I've been spending a good bit of time looking into Richard Etheridge and the Pea Island Life Saving Station, which was a station in the United States Life Saving Service in North Carolina on the Outer Banks.
Right.
Basically what happened, so in that area, a lot of the life-saving stations were either they were mostly all white, right? And
what year was this now, you think?
This was
right after the Civil War, right?
This was like he was installed as the keeper of the Pea Island Life Saving Station in, I believe, like 1880.
Okay, so the Civil War was over.
It was right after the Civil War.
Civil War was over in 1865.
Yeah.
So so go ahead. And he served in the military.
Yeah, he served in the Union Army.
Okay, so go ahead. So go ahead. Keep going. It's a great story, man. I can't wait to.
So most of the crews were all white. The ones that weren't, they were called checkerboard crews, right? You know, white and black.
Yeah.
And it was very, very difficult, if not impossible, for a black man to climb the ladder and become a keeper, let alone, or, you know, even they had the surfmen were ranked, right? It was keeper, surfman number 1, surfman number 2, all the way down to like 6 or 7.
Right.
It was very rare that a black individual like leapfrogged 6 or 7.
Right.
Despite that, so Etheridge served years on one of these checkerboard crews, and despite that, by the time he was recognized as the keeper of the Pea Island Life Saving Station, he was recognized as pretty much the best surfman around, white or black. He was a waterman, straight up.
Yeah.
There was an incident. I'd have to dig into my research to get the specifics of it, but one of the issues in the late 1800s was funding with the USLSS, and as a result, they didn't have the best people for the job. They didn't have people that were fully committed. If you were a keeper, I think you made like $200 a year. Like it was like nothing, And
well, maybe back then it was a lot more, but I understand
still,
it wasn't.
Still,
it was
even,
still
still
relatively
even
speaking, it wasn't that great, right?
Still, even back then, that wasn't really
right. Because I think a Ford car was like
money.
Cost about $200. Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
So a ship went down, and basically the surfmen at this station weren't ready to help. They were either drunk or asleep or just doing something else. So they fired everybody, and they brought in Etheridge as the keeper, and he hired the first crew of all black surfmen for.
Yeah, I bet it was a lot of his. I bet it was
United States Life Saving Service,
and I bet it was a lot of his military buddies too.
And what's crazy is now this I'm just going off the top of my head. This might not be fact because I was also reading like a historical fiction based around this.
Right.
But in that book, it says that the surfmen at the Pea Island Station under Etheridge shared names with a lot of the surfmen at the other surrounding stations because a lot of former slave families took the names of their owners.
Right.
So a lot of the owners' families, like descendants, were the white surfmen.
Right.
Etheridge was born a slave on Roanoke Island. And yeah, like I said, he fought in the Civil War, rose to this rank, and, was recognized as, they were like the best around. This group of guys.
Yeah.
Actually, after his first year in charge, so their off season was the summer, right? So like July and August, they weren't really working. But then the whole rest of the year, the winter was really when they worked a lot.
Yeah.
But after that first year, their station was burned down under like suspicious circumstances, and it probably had something to do with the people who he replaced. But it's just a really, really incredible story.
Oh, I can't wait to. So you're going to profile it. You're going to profile it.
So
soon.
I was doing my research on this, and you know, I wanted to get my hands on like some primary sources, because all I was getting was like books, and you know, there's 4 YouTube videos on it. There's a documentary. Either the book or the documentary is called Fire on the Beach. I'm not sure.
Fire. Okay. So these lifeguard stations were the precursor to the Coast Guard.
Yeah, the United States Life Saving Service merged with the Marine Revenue Service.
Right, Marine Revenue.
To become the Coast Guard. Also, there was another, or we've gone over a little bit of this, and there was another organization called the Massachusetts Humane Society that kind of got absorbed into that. They were the first ones to use surf boats. I think Cohasset Island or Cohasset, I don't know if it was an island, Cohasset, Massachusetts. That was where the first American surf boat was used. They actually took the model from the Brits. They had a surf boat that we kind of copied. But I'm doing my research on this, and like I said, I'm trying to find primary sources. So next thing you know, I'm putting in calls to like Roanoke Island and the mayor's office and the Pea Island Preservation Society. So I left like 5 messages, and within 3 hours, I got a call back from this woman, Joan. I'm drawing a blank on her last name. Let me see if I.
And she's one of the great granddaughter.
So Joan is one of the directors of the Pea Island Preservation Society, and we got to talking, and I told her about this research I'm doing, and she ended up telling me that her grandfather worked under Mr. Etheridge at the Pea Island Life Saving Association. Wow. And she said, she was going to check us out, and hopefully she'll come on and do an interview at some point.
That'd be great.
That would be incredible.
The revenue, you talked about it was the lifeguard saving service and
I think it was called the Marine Revenue.
Right. Yeah. Well, so the Marine. I just want to make a point about that. The Marine Revenue is what it is. It's revenue. They would go out, and because people were bringing in contraband, especially when you had prohibition. And they were not getting paid. People weren't paying taxes on this stuff.
And what's funny is the Coast Guard is still doing the exact same 2 things, right? If you take those 2 organizations to look at them, the Revenue Service trying to stop illegal shit from coming in. And then you have the Life Saving Service, which is the Coast Guard. I think does a little bit more of that these days.
Right. But
my cousin, real quick, I think I've mentioned this before. She now works in Hawaii. For their like investigative arm. I don't know exactly what it's called, but she was a sharpshooter, and she was part of the teams that would, be like trying to shoot the engines out of like these little drug boats.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, the revenue certainly was an interesting scenario. We could talk about that, but I think this is the kind of history that we should be talking about and teaching our children, especially when it comes to after the Civil War or even before the Civil War, but how white and black people interacted and how there was some great scenarios where here you have an individual who's a patriot who fought in the Civil War on the Union side and then rose to the occasion, probably was given a little bit of a break because not a break, but they got him in there because he was a vet. And his expertise, he probably brought in a lot of his friends, and they did great, and they did very well. Just like the airmen, the blacks who flew in World War II. It goes on. You could go on and on and on. They fought in the Civil War. They fought in the Revolutionary War. We have a rich history, and I think that we should bring that out. I think it's really great. I'd like to talk to this woman. It would be really inspirational, just like the Special Olympics. This is another thing where we need to bring this history out. We need to get this out to people, and they could watch it and see it. And I'm really excited about that.
If you want, I can read an excerpt from an article that I had prepared. So when people talk about, not just Etheridge, but the other men that worked with him, and I think it's worth mentioning their names, Benjamin Bowser, Dorman Pugh, Lewis Westcott, Stanley Wise, William Irving, and Theodore Meekins. Now, those are only just the original, let's see, 6 surfmen he had under them. He had dozens of other surfmen throughout.
How long did his reign last for? How long was he watchkeeper there?
So he was.
They say?
Yeah, he was appointed. He was appointed in 1880, and he served until 1890, I believe, when he died. He served until his death.
How old was he?
He wasn't too old. He was born in 42, so he wasn't like crazy. He was like, yeah, he was like 50 something. He died from some kind of disease. But I want to read this article. When people talk about him, they talk about the rescue of the E.S. Newman. It was a ship. So I'll read a little bit about that rescue.
And let me premise it, because I people don't probably realize, if you could say when it went, what time of year, but usually these rescues, these ships went down. These were ships that were sailing, big sailing ships with big sails, and Carolina coast has got shoals, and you're talking the wintertime where it's 20, 30 degrees.
They called it the graveyard of the Atlantic back then.
And it's cold, and nobody, white or black, most of these people couldn't swim. The one I was just reading a book about, Captain Cook, and famous Captain Cook. He didn't know how to swim. None of them had to swim. They would have these cork life preservers. They would take these wooden boats. I don't know, it was 12 guys in a boat, and they would row in the freezing cold, big ocean, no radar, no. I mean, and if they flipped over, you could have died. I mean, or froze to death. So that's
a lot of the deaths that happened in the service were a result of training exercises, because part of the training was
to go out there,
flip it over, flip the boat, right it. Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, you're talking just so get it. Tell me.
I mean, I've said this before. Those guys were badass.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what do you want to read the article then?
Yeah. So I want to make one quick correction. I said he died in 1890. He died in the year 1900. So he served for 20 years.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good.
And he was about that would make him 58.
Yeah.
So I guess back then that's relatively old.
Listen, it wasn't antibiotics. I mean, people died a lot earlier.
All right, so so this is from this is from the U.S. Coast Guard's website, actually. Article titled "Captain Richard Etheridge, Keeper, United States Life-Saving Service." On October 11th, 1896, Etheridge's rigorous training drills proved to be invaluable. The 3-masted schooner, the E.S. Newman, was caught in a terrifying storm en route to Stottingham, Connecticut. En route from Stottingham, Connecticut to Norfolk, Virginia. The vessel was blown 100 miles south off course and came ashore on the beach, 2 miles south of the Pea Island station. The storm was so severe that Etheridge had suspended normal beach patrols that day, but the alert eyes of surfman Theodore Meekins saw the first distress flare, and he immediately notified Etheridge. Etheridge gathered his crew and launched the surfboat. Battling the strong tide and sweeping currents, the dedicated lifesavers struggled to make their way to a point opposite the schooner, only to find there was no dry land. The daring, quick-witted Etheridge tied 2 of his strongest surfmen together and connected them to shore by a long line. They fought their way through the roaring breakers and finally reached the schooner. So October, the water was pretty warm, but they swam out.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
The seemingly inexhaustible Pea Island crew members journeyed through the perilous waters 10 times and rescued the entire crew of the E.S. Newman. For this rescue, the crew, including Etheridge, were awarded the Gold Life-Saving Medal by the Coast Guard in 1996.
I mean,
1996.
Okay,
it
19.
Took over 100 years to be recognized.
So they were passed away.
This is actually interesting. And you can see this.
Oh, really?
There's some great photos of the on the Pea Island Preservation Society's website, where they took the cookhouse from the original life-saving station and brought it to the mainland, and they made it into a museum.
Wow.
And in that cookhouse is the nameplate of the E.S. Newman, big giant nameplate hanging on the wall. That was the only thing they got in recognition for that. The captain of the vessel gave it to them as a thank you.
Yeah.
But so this is the award narrative from 1996. It says, the three-masted schooner E.S. Newman sailing from Providence, Rhode Island to Norfolk, Virginia ran into a hurricane. Pushed before the storm, the ship lost all sails and drifted almost 100 miles before it ran aground about 2 miles south of the Pea Island Life-Saving Station on 11th October, 1896. The station keeper, Richard Etheridge, had discontinued the routine patrols due to high water that had inundated the island. Surfman Theodore Meekins, however, saw what he thought was a distress signal and lit a Coston flare. He then called to Etheridge to look for a return signal. Both strained to look through the storm. Moments later, they saw a faint signal of a vessel in distress. And then it kind of goes on to just restate what I already just read.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But, I mean,
imagine.
just think
It's
about
a
it. It's not only-
hurricane.
Yeah, and it's not only you're swimming out there, but you're swimming out there to a ship that's breaking up.
Yeah.
You know, so so you have all types of debris coming at you. You know, you have people in full clothing.
Did they say how many people they saved or anything? Did they go into anything about that?
It said they made 10 trips, but let me see.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a number on first glance here, but
You know, they had pirates back in those days too, land pirates, and they would these ships. The people would not these people, but crooks would go out there and rob the stuff. And you know.
I think it was 11 total that they saved.
Yeah, it sounds like it was maybe a cargo ship, which was en route. It was probably delivering like a crew to handle the cargo. There was a lot of cargo ships then. And they were all sailing mass. Well, that's an unbelievable story. That's a great story. We love to hear stories like that. And I think that if you could get her to come on, that'd be really great.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be so cool.
I might have to bug her a little bit. She hasn't gotten back to me yet. Maybe she doesn't like our podcast.
Nah, they're busy. What we'll do is we'll get this. I'll get the archives. We could show them. We'll show some people. But for the people on the podcast, we apologize. We had a little videos today, but you got to go to our. We want you to go to our YouTube and Rumble.
Yeah.
See us on Rumble.
Oh,
see
we're
us on
one
YouTube.
subscriber away from 100. Then I have to give away that whistle.
Yeah, I had to move it because Dr. Schneider was working there. They're right on the table over there. I had to move them. So, well, that's a great
One
story.
away from
yeah,
100.
one away. So that's really great, Tyler. I'm glad that you went to the Polar Bear Plunge. We want to give our gratitude to people that went there and donated and they raised the money. It's a great cause. They went in that cold, and I think a lot of people deserve a shout out and an applause. So we really do hear it.
Do you have an applause button?
I don't think so. But I really appreciate what they have done, and I think that I don't know who makes the most money. I have no idea, but I can tell you right now, I know that Seaside Heights that's a big crowd there.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the biggest crowds that they have in the world. And hopefully we'll continue on. So anything else you want to add, Tyler?
What do you think about this Russia-Ukraine stuff?
You got to come on my other show. We talk about politics. I'm Russian, so you know. I right now, I tell you a couple things, not specifically about, but generally about war and generally what's going on. I talk to young people about the election that passed, and I tell them that. You know, one of the things I worried about is always World War III. Einstein said that. He said, I don't know how World War III is going to be fought, but World War IV could be fought with sticks and stones. And I think that a lot of young people like your age have never really seen what the world could be. I didn't live through World War II, but my father did, and he would tell me the stories, the atrocities that were done with Stalin. My grandfather came over from Russia, and my father would tell me the atrocities that happened to his two brothers, their friends with the Japanese and the Bataan Death March and the cruelty. I mean, we were bombing the United States. We were day bombing Germany. We were killing, cities, people, normal population. We dropped 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That was, just people. But both sides are doing it. I'm not saying war is terrible. And the Vietnam War, the Korean War, and all of these things are in our past, and a lot of people don't want to remember them. When I talk to people, like I said, young people, they're like, "Oh, we'll never have that again. That's done. Everything kumbaya." And now I think what you're seeing is it's not done. And I hear people crying, "Oh, the brutality." And that's what war is. and it's sad, but it still happens. And I just hope this doesn't develop into a World War III.
Yeah.
And you have Russia, you have China. If China goes into the say the Taiwan and blockades them, and then maybe you have Iran start some crap with Israel. You're going right along. I mean, I talk about deja vu, and you asked the question. I really don't want to talk about politics. We should come on another show. But here's the thing. Back in the 30s, 32, 33, Hitler was running through Europe. He said he wasn't going to go any further. He invaded Poland. It's almost for the same reason that Putin's doing this. But it's
well,
more
what's
complicated.
funny is Putin said he's denazifying Ukraine.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's the same, but it's not. And again, I don't know the specifics, so I don't want to get anybody upset. I don't want to pick sides, but I could just tell you is that when you start doing stuff like this, it could take off. There's a book. It's called The Guns of August about World War I. You could watch Dr. Strangelove, which is a dark comedy. How one thing starts the next, and then before you know it, you're down this road of just a crazy war. You got to remember, China, United States, Israel, Turkey, Russia. They have nuclear weapons. We have enough nuclear weapons to pulverize this world, and that's one of the things that Trump said. Because you worry about climate change. You have a nuclear war, man. That's going to change the climate. So anyway, I just would say this. You know what? Hopefully, this will not develop into that. I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know why it started, but I could just tell you, it's very scary.
I came across something yesterday that, if it's true, is very scary, because it is an example of how much control a government can exercise over the way its citizens think, right? So I was just hearing like this stuff about, like Putin told his soldiers that it was like a training exercise, right? That they were getting sent over there for. I don't know if that's true or not, right? But then, so I was, do you know what Reddit is? Do you know what Reddit is?
No.
It's a website.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know what you were saying.
A different bunch of different conversation threads and articles get posted. So I was looking at the Ukrainian subreddit, and on the Ukrainian subreddit, they posted a screenshot of a Russian soldier's phone, right? Yeah. And this Russian soldier had been killed by Ukrainians, and the texts. I read the translation of the text, and it was text between this Russian soldier and his mother. And he was basically saying, like, Mom, like, they told us this was a training exercise, but, like, people are shooting at us, and I don't know what's going on. Like, I just want to come home.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the most scary to me, because, it's very well possible that he has such a hold over those people that they're brainwashed to think that they are just over there for a training exercise.
Here's the thing. I don't know if it's true or not. And like there's bots and all that kind of stuff. So be careful what you read. But
that's why I said I don't know if it's true or not.
No. And here you get emotional about, everybody does. But it's interesting. Burns, he's done, Ken Burns he's a film producer, and he has multiple ones. One's about baseball. One's about the Civil War. And what I really like about it is somebody in the background will read the letters from the soldiers before they went to battle, on both sides, and it's and everybody has the reason for what they're doing. Lincoln said, both sides believe in God. It's just it's what side God believes in.
That's one of the.
So Putin. Here's the thing. What I'm saying is you could drill down on the specifics. I hear people, we want to do this, we want to do that. That guy on the video, everybody. But war is unfortunately, it's not the answer. It solves some things, but when you go down this road, you could cause you could develop into something that you're not really want to have happen. It's like a fire. You try to control a fire. It's like trying to control your drug addiction. I mean, a lot of people die who didn't want to die because it gets out of hand, and this is something that could get out of hand. I don't want to get into the politics of it. You could come to our show Saturday and listen to Radio Free Radio Free America with Barbara Schneider, and you could definitely call in.
Nice plug.
And I could go on because it's getting. I don't want to go because we're not prepared. But I could tell you right now I think this was predicted. I think that one of the reasons why I was a big proponent of Trump, and I always said to myself, who do you want as president of the United States if we go into war? And I would rather have Trump. Now the president's going to be on tonight, and I think at 9:00 he's going to give a statement. So it's very serious. War is serious. I remember the Vietnam War, Tyler. I got a draft card. A lot of people died. They had every day on TV they would show the soldiers who died that night. I mean, I watched it. I mean, I saw it on TV. I remember talking to my uncle about how he lost 2 friends at the Bataan Death March. Now, the Bataan Death March was where the Japanese marched these soldiers, and if you fell down, you couldn't keep going. They shoot you right in the head. They would take these soldiers lived in. I mean, it was brutal what they did. The inhumanity. We watched the Special Olympics. This is what gets me going. We watched the Special Olympics. We watched the Polar Plunge. The goodness, but there's also very, very bad. And, the soldier, maybe they were bullshitted. Maybe they're dying. I mean, people in the Civil War, we killed, brothers fought against brothers, fathers against sons. 800,000, an estimated 800,000 Americans died in this country fighting each other. Korean War, 50,000. Vietnam War, 50,000. The World War II, oh my God, we lost a lot in the flying, in the Air Force. It was the Army Air Force. About 300,000 men died. 10 guys would go down at a time with a plane. So anyway, you go to Arlington. I'm going to go to what is it? I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. And there's about 400,000, I think, graves in Arlington. Mm-hmm. And everyone there gave their life for this country. And life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So remember that. And on that note, I think we should close up. I know
wrap it up.
It's
getting late.
Yeah, and we pray to God. Hopefully, things will unwind. And what did Lincoln say? The better of our angels will prevail. So maybe the better angels will prevail in this situation. It'll de-escalate. I don't know. I hope so. And on that note, listen.
Gotta have hope.
We always have hope. But listen, thank you everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Tyler, we're going to be here. So just so people know, I have a radio talk show on Friday. It's Scrubbing Up. We have some medical issues we're going to talk about. And then on the weekend, we have now 2 shows. One is Painless with Dr. Jasper, and the other one is Radio Free America with Barbara Schneider.
Yeah, welcome to the Kachmar Network.
That show is amazing. She's just unbelievable.
Who would have thought we would have been setting up a full-blown production company?
Well, we're getting
from your granddaughter's old bedroom.
Yeah, that's where we started. So listen, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Michael Kachmar. I'm a board-certified reconstructive foot and ankle surgeon.
I'm Tyler, and
this is Tyler.
I write poems sometimes.
There's Tyler. Tyler, put up the just for everybody real quick.
What do we want? Dr. Kachmar at iCloud.com.
Right,
you can hit us up there. Let us know if you want stickers. We'll send you some stickers. We got a new badge coming in soon.
Yeah, and then
Instagram
and our webpage.
Association. Yeah, you can check it out. We're still getting used to this new program. JerseyShoreFootAndLegCenter.com for more information on Dr. Kachmar, and if you need foot surgery or whatever, he's the guy you want to hit up. Yeah. And you can call us live on air. Yeah, or leave us a message if we don't pick up.
Well, we're going to start having a section at the end of call-ins and comment. Listen, also, where's our subscribe? Subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit the like bell. That helps us out if you want us to keep going and get better and better and more. We need to have you guys subscribe. Really appreciate it very much. So, right, Tyler?
Yep. This has been Lifeguards Off Duty.
Oh, we got to say, stay out, stay alive. Stay out and stay alive.
It's been a while since we had to do it.
Stay out and stay alive.
All right.